Hi, I'm Barry from Cyclologic in Scottsdale, Arizona, and today I'm here to talk to you about Pure Position from Purely Custom. This is one of the most essential tools we use in the studio every single day. I use it to set up my size cycle. I use it as a problem solver to help us work through different position issues that the client may be going through. I use it to explain geometry to the client, and then we also use it in our Fit First program where we sell bikes through fit before the client actually invests in any equipment. I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite features of this today. Sit back and enjoy. The first thing we're going to look at today is how to add a new customer. After you've logged into the software, you'll be greeted by the home page where all of your customers are listed. If you click on Add a Customer, a new block will open up, and you can put in all kinds of information about the client. First name, last name, email, birth year, width, inseam, everything else. You don't have to put in the rest of this information, but if you would like to, it's simple and easy to do so, and it's an always available resource for your client's information. Click Add Customer, and the client has been added. You can now go back in and add information about the client. You'll be able to add fits, you'll be able to add the bikes that they own, the bikes that they want, and you'll be able to solve problems for them. Okay, now that we've got our client in the database, let's add one of their fits. We'll use me as an example. If you double click on the client, you'll be given several different types of drop-down menus that you can work with. Currently, this client has no fits or bikes added. So what we're going to do first is we're going to add a fit. You select the type of fit you would like to do. In this case, we're going to use a road fit. And then you put in a description. We'll call this a size cycle fit. The handlebar XY coordinates are then put in. If you have an XY plotter on your wall, it measures in tenths of a degree. You don't want to put in the tenths, it'll throw it out. So you want to round up to the nearest millimeter. Saddle clamp coordinates. Cycling inseam. And saddle angle. You can also put in any notes that you want to remember about this particular fit. For instance, on this one, we used a 170 crank. You save the fit, and now you can search for a bike for the client. Okay, so you've inputted your client's fit into the system, and you'd like to find them a new bike. All you have to do is select that fit, and then select how you want to search. So if we open up our search settings, we're given several different brands that are already built into the system that you can search from. So we'll select a couple. You can scroll down the page, select different categories that you want to search across, different price points. You can select that you only want this client to ride a negative angled stem, and then you can also narrow in on the types of stems that you want them to ride and the angles that you want to make available. If, for instance, you know that this bike ships with a 20mm setback seat post, you could unselect all of the others, and it will put the fit on the bike with only the 20mm setback seat post. If you scroll back up, hit Save Settings, and then hit Search Custom Components, it will go through all of the bikes in the database, and it will show you the different bikes that will work. If you click on one of those bikes, it will show you what the fit will look like on that bike. You can then also make adjustments. So for instance, this one is telling us that the saddle is 0.6 millimeters off the center of the rail with a 20mm setback post, and that we have approximately 30 mils of spacers under the stem. If you click Make Adjustments, you can dive into it and make further adjustments. We know that this bike ships with a 15mm headset cap. You can see how the change happened up here. The black dot is the fit. The red dot is where the bike exists if you have 15 mils of headset height and 33 mils of spacers. And that puts us 14 mils away. So if I take half of those spacers out, boom, here is our client's new configuration. When you're putting the fit on the client's bike, you know that you're only going to need 15 mils of spacers and a 120 mil stem, and you're going to be less than 4 millimeters away from the SciCycle fit. Purely Custom has come up with an incredibly powerful tool to save you time and energy and make sure the client ends up on the right bike the first time. Okay, this client already owns a bike. Let's add it. If you click on Add a Bike, you're given two different options. You can either physically put in the information about the bike, or you can add the bike from the database. If you click on the year of the client's bike, the brand, and the bike, you can then add that size. You still need to select bike type. And then there's a lot of other information about the bike that is very useful. The only other things that you definitely need to make sure are added are the height of the headset that the client has on the bike. In this case, it's a 20 mil headset cap height. And then how many spacers the client has available to them. And scroll down and click Save Bike. Okay, let's say your client has a bike that's not in the database. Here's how you add a bike. Pull up the client's page and click on the button that says Add a Bike. You'll be given the choice of choosing which bike type it is, the bicycle name. In this case, it's a Cipollini RB1K 53. You scroll down, and again, just like when you add a bike from the database, there are a lot of optional things up here. You don't have to put them all in. The main things that you need to add are stack, reach, seat tube angle, head tube angle, headset height, and spacer height. If you put all of those items in, you can then run the client's fit against that bike. So all you have to do is look up the bike on the manufacturer's website, pick the one that the client bought. So in this case, it has a stack and reach of 509 and 391. Seat tube angle of 74.5 and 72. It ships with a 10 millimeter headset height, and there are 40 mils of spacers available. Make sure that you've selected the type of bike it is, and then scroll down to the bottom of the page and save the bike. You can then take the client's fit and put it on the bike. We're going to see here very quickly that this isn't going to work, which will bring us to our next talk, which will be about solving problems. It does not look like the SciCycle fit that you just did for your client will go on to the bike that they've already purchased. This gives you two options that you can go through with the client. The first option is you get to remind them that when it's time to buy that next bike, make sure they do their fit first before they buy their bike, and that way you can use the Purely Custom Pure Position software to show them which bike will work best. But right now the client's already bought this bike, and you need to show them what we're gonna have to do to get the position on the bike. So go ahead and click OK. Go back into your search settings, and this is how we solve the problem. We'll scroll down the page, unselect only negative stems, and then select everything else. We're gonna make the software place the position on the bike. It doesn't matter that the client may not want to ride these particular parts, but it'll show them the mathematical solution that's needed to get there. Make sure that you select at least one of the two stem types, scroll back up the page, hit save, and now we have a solution. If you click on the bike, You can see how it gets there. The problem with this is that the client cut their steerer tube and they only have 10 mils of spacers left. So you can bring this back down, make adjustments, show them how far away they are from their size cycle fit. Again, the red dot is their bike, the black dot is the size cycle. You can tell the client, all right, you either have to learn to ride 30 millimeters lower, 3 centimeters lower than you're comfortable with, or we have to flip that stem over to get you close. And you can explain to them how on this particular bike an upward angled stem is going to negatively affect the handling. This takes the guesswork out of it. It gives you a place of authority and empirical data to talk from, and it lets the client see what's happening on their bike visually, and it makes it much easier for you to explain and much better and easier for them to understand. Okay, let's take a look at the Purely Custom Pure Position Toolbox. It gives you a couple of fantastic tools that you can use to set up your size cycle. If you click on Toolbox and then click on Set Up Fit Bike, you input the client's inseam, select the bike that you want to start off with, and it will give you the coordinates to start everything off. You just dial these into your fit bike, and then you now have a nice, clean position to start everything from. Another fantastic Purely Custom Pure Position Toolbox feature is the Grade Angle Calculator. If you open up your toolbox and click on the Grade Angle Calculator, you're given the choice of either putting in the grade that you want and hitting Calculate, and it'll tell you exactly how many degrees you need to tilt the front of the bike up using your Purely Custom digital level to measure and your Purely Custom riser kit. And that way you can be more accurate in your fit studio, mimicking real-world positions. Purely Custom Pure Position also gives you a very quick and easy tool to use to find a bike that's on your sales floor for a client. If you already know an approximate handlebar and saddle XY, all you have to do is open up Purely Custom, click on Toolbox, click on New Bike Quick Search, and input those numbers. Put in the client's cycling inseam and hit search. It'll go through your inventory and find the ones that are the closest. You can then walk over to that bike on the sales floor and show the client, all we're going to have to do to put your fit on that bike is put this number of spacers and this length stem. Once again, Purely Custom has come up with a fantastic, well thought out tool that will help you sell bikes on your sales floor.